Your mind can be your sanctuary, or it can be your storm. And right now, it feels like the storm, doesn't it? A prison. You feel trapped in this chaotic swirl of anxious, resentful thoughts that are stealing your peace and killing your focus. 1,000 things pull at your attention, 100 past regrets play on a loop, and a dozen future worries demand to be feared. It's exhausting. You're losing a silent war for your own attention, and the battlefield is your mind. But what if I told you there's an ancient key to unlock that prison? A key that wasn't created in some modern lab, but was forged in the fires of human history by thinkers who faced plagues, exile, and chaos, yet kept an unshakable inner calm. The Stoics found this key thousands of years ago. They knew that our thoughts, left unchecked, become our chains. But if we learn to direct them, they become our greatest tools. In this video, we're not doing cheap motivation or just think positive platitudes. I'm going to share 5 powerful, practical Stoic principles to help you clear out the toxic thoughts, reclaim your focus, and turn your mind back into a sanctuary. Section 1. The unseen battle for your mind. Before we can build our fortress, we have to understand the nature of the storm. We live in a world that literally profits from our distraction. Every notification, every headline, every social media feed, it's a little bid for a piece of your mental space. And over time, all that external noise just makes the internal noise louder. The anxieties, the resentments, the what-ifs, they all feed on the chaos. The Stoics thinkers like the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, the playwright and advisor Seneca, and the former slave-turned-legendary teacher Epictetus were the original architects of mental freedom. These guys lived through way more uncertainty than most of us will ever face. Yet they created a system for building an inner citadel, a fortress of the mind that external chaos and internal turmoil couldn't break. They taught that most of our suffering doesn't come from what happens to us, but from the judgments we make about it. As Seneca famously wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." That promotion you didn't get? That's not the source of your pain. The story you tell yourself that you're a failure, that's the source. That critical comment someone made? The pain doesn't come from their words. It comes from the internal story you spin that you're not good enough. The Stoics realized if our judgments are the source of our suffering, they're also the key to our liberation. This is the radical promise of Stoicism. The key to peace is already in your pocket. You just have to learn how to use it. And the first step is understanding the one principle that holds it all together. Section 2. The foundation of focus, the dichotomy of control. If you only get one thing from this video, make it this. This one idea, once you really get it, can wipe out most of your anxiety and mental clutter. It's called the dichotomy of control. The great Stoic teacher Epictetus laid it out with beautiful simplicity. Some things are in our control and others not. Things in our control are opinion, pursuit, desire, aversion, and, in a word, whatever, are our own actions. Things not in our control are body, property, reputation, command, and, in one word, whatever, are not our own actions. Let's make that real for today. What's truly in your control? Your opinions, your choices, your effort, the character you build, that's it. That is your kingdom. What's not in your control? Pretty much everything else. The traffic, the weather, the economy, what other people think about you, whether your boss likes your presentation, the final outcome of your hard work. Almost all our toxic thoughts, anxiety, anger, despair come from one simple mistake. We waste our energy trying to control things we can't, while ignoring the one area where we have total power, our own mind. Trying to control what someone else thinks of you is like trying to tell the ocean to be quiet. You'll just exhaust yourself. Worrying about a future you can't guarantee is draining your battery for a fight you can't win. The Stoics believe that human unhappiness is mostly just a big misunderstanding of where our true power is. The second you internalize this, everything shifts. You stop wasting energy on the uncontrollable and pour all of it into what you can control. Your actions, your effort, your response. You stop tying your peace to outside events and tie it to your own integrity. You can't control if you get the job, but you can control how well you prepare for the interview. You can't control a rude comment, but you can control whether you answer with grace or with anger. This isn't about being passive. It's about being strategic. It's focusing your fire where it actually makes a difference. This is the foundation. Now, let's build on it. Section 3. 5 Stoic Practices to Build Your Inner Citadel. Practice 1. The art of the pause. Observe without biting. A toxic thought is like a baited hook. Our automatic impulse is to bite, to argue with it, to believe it, to wrestle with it. The Stoic move is to create a tiny bit of space, a pause between the thought and your response. Epictetus taught that it's not what happens to you, but how you react that matters. The power is in that pause. When an anxious or angry thought pops up, your first job isn't to fight it. Fighting it just makes it stronger. Your job is to just observe it. Get curious. Imagine you're standing on the bank of a river. Your thoughts are just leaves floating by. There goes a leaf of worry about a bill. There's a flash of anger about something someone said. There's a distracting fantasy. You don't have to jump in the river and grab every single leaf. You can just stand on the bank and watch them float on by. In modern psychology, this is called cognitive distancing. You are not your thoughts. You are the awareness of your thoughts. Try labeling them. There's the "I'm not good enough" thought, or "I'm noticing the feeling of anxiety." When you label it, you separate from it. You see it for what it is, a temporary mental event, not a command you have to obey. The more you practice observing without reacting, the less power these thoughts have. They show up, you nod at them without judgment, and because you're not feeding them with your attention and emotion, they eventually starve and float away. You're no longer the prisoner of the storm. You're the calm sky that lets the storm pass. Practice 2. The power of separation. Fact versus story. This next practice takes that observation a step further. It's about actively breaking down an experience into 2 parts, the objective thing that happened and the dramatic story you're telling yourself about it. Your freedom is in that gap. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man on earth at the time, constantly practiced seeing things stripped of his own emotional spin. He called it objective representation. Here's how it works. Let's say you give a presentation and a colleague gives you some harsh feedback. The objective event is, a person spoke words about the presentation. The toxic story you might tell yourself is, they think I'm an idiot. Everyone saw me fail. My career is over. I'm a fraud. See the difference? One is a fact. The other is a horror story you're writing in your head. And that story is the source of all your suffering. The Stoic practice is to catch yourself in the act of spinning that story. Ask yourself, what actually happened? Strip out the drama. The project didn't meet its deadline. Not, I'm a total failure. My partner used a sharp tone, not, my partner doesn't love me anymore. This practice starves toxic thinking at its source. It stops you from pouring gasoline on the tiny fires of daily life and brings you back to reality. And in reality, things are rarely as bad as our anxious minds make them out to be. It's not the event that disturbs you. It's your judgment about the event. Control the judgment, and you control your emotional world. Practice 3. The scribe strategy. Reshape your inner dialogue. Marcus Aurelius didn't just think these things. He wrote them down. The book we now call Meditations was his private journal, a tool he used to wrestle with his thoughts and reinforce his philosophy. For a Stoic, journaling isn't a diary. It's a mental gym. Here's how you do it. First, get the poison out. When your mind is a chaotic mess, dump it all onto the page. No filter. Pour out the anxiety, the anger, the self-pity. Seeing your thoughts written down often exposes how repetitive and illogical they are. What feels like a monster in your head often looks much smaller in the light of day. Second, challenge and redirect. Find a recurring toxic thought in your journal. Let's say it's a nagging resentment you have. That thought is a weed. Once you've seen it clearly, you have to deliberately plant something better in its place. This isn't about pretending the problem doesn't exist. It's about choosing a more empowering focus. You could write about the lessons that difficult experience taught you. You could write about your gratitude for the healthy relationships you do have. You could simply redirect your focus to your own goals, reminding yourself that your energy is too precious to waste on someone else's past mistakes. Seneca advised using journaling to practice clean language, to challenge your own dramatic narratives and replace them with sober, constructive thoughts. Over time, you literally become the author of your own mind, not just a passive reader of its anxious headlines. If you're finding these strategies helpful for building your own inner fortress, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We're all about using ancient wisdom to build modern resilience, and we'd love to have you with us. Practice 4. The anchor of the present, closing mental loops. Seneca noticed that our minds are almost never where our bodies are. We're either haunted by the past or terrified of the future. He said, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future." Toxic thoughts thrive in the past and future. They can't survive in the clean air of the now. One of the biggest culprits of this mental time travel is open loops. These are all the unfinished tasks, unanswered emails, and unresolved conversations humming in the background of your mind. Each open loop is a little drain on your mental energy, pulling your focus away from the present moment. The Stoic solution is brutally simple. Close the loops. First, make a list. Get every single "I should" and "I need to" out of your head and onto a piece of paper. Just seeing it all listed out will bring an immediate sense of relief. Second, take one small action. You don't have to fix everything at once. Just pick one thing off your list and take a tiny 2-minute step to move it forward. Send that one-sentence email. Schedule that call. Every loop you close, no matter how small, is like shutting down a noisy app that was draining your mental battery. It's an act of anchoring yourself in the present. It proves to your brain that you are a person of action, not a person of worry. And it frees up your attention for what's right in front of you, the only place where peace and focus exist. Practice 5. The philosopher's posture. Use your body to change your mind. The Stoics knew something that science is now proving. Your mind and body are one integrated system. You can't have a clear, strong mind if you have a neglected, stagnant body. Stoicism is an embodied philosophy. Think about how you feel physically when you're anxious. Your shoulders slump, your breathing gets shallow, you clench your jaw. Your body is reflecting and reinforcing your mental state. The Stoic insight is that you can flip this around and use your body to lead your mind. This practice is about deliberate physical intervention. The moment you feel yourself spiraling into toxic thoughts, change your physical state. If you're sitting, stand up. Pull your shoulders back and stand tall. Take 3 slow, deep belly breaths. This simple act sends a powerful signal to your nervous system that you are safe and in control. Even better, move. The Stoics were big fans of walking. They knew that physical motion can break the mental paralysis of overthinking. When your mind feels stuck in a loop, go for a brisk walk. The rhythm and change of scenery interrupt the negative feedback loop. You can't always think your way out of a mental trap. Sometimes you have to walk your way out. By taking charge of your body, you remind yourself that you're not just a mind trapped in a storm. You are a grounded, physical being who has the power to act. Your mind doesn't have to be a prison. That storm of anxious, resentful, and distracting thoughts is not your destiny. As the Stoics taught us, you have the power to turn that prison into a fortress, a sanctuary of focus, clarity, and unshakable peace. But it doesn't happen by magic. It happens through practice. It starts with the dichotomy of control, taking your energy back from what you can't change and pouring it into what you can. It's built by practicing the art of the pause, by separating facts from stories, by reshaping your inner dialogue with a journal, by closing open loops to anchor yourself in the present, and by using your body to guide your mind. This path isn't about suppressing emotion. It's about achieving peace through discipline. It's about understanding that you are not the storm. You are the sky. The mind you build becomes the life you live. The tools are in your hands. As the great Stoic emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote to himself, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." If this video gave you a new tool for your mental toolkit, show some support by hitting that like button and subscribe for more ancient wisdom for modern problems. And now, I want to hear from you. Down in the comments, tell us which of these 5 practices you're going to try first. Your journey inspires all of us. Now go start building your inner citadel.